Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. I am back to doing the weekly sign by sign, so you can expect those to come out on Monday. If you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to be a subscriber. And if you're a subscriber, please hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload videos, because I may be uploading some additional videos. Everything's kind of in flux. I'm about to celebrate my 2-year anniversary on YouTube. It's kind of exciting. It's this week on Saturday. So, I really want to encourage you to check out your sun, your moon, and your rising. Your sun sign, that's the core view. It's determined by the day of your birth. It is how you view the world. But your rising sign, that's what sets up your houses. So when I say it's happening in your first house or your 7th house, it's based on where your rising sign is. And so it's really good to check out your chart. I'll put a chart calculator below. And your moon sign, that's how you feel about things. Oh, rising sign, not only does it do that, it sets up your personality. It is how you are going to interact with the world. So how you view the world and how you interact with the world are not necessarily the same things. And your moon sign is how you feel about all the crazy stuff that goes on around you and inside of you. And so that is always, it's the emotional part of you. It's really weird because I haven't looked at the bottom of the deck, but it really caught my attention and wanted me to. You have sacred reverence. I'm not seeing this card. It's 4 plus 7. It's 47. It's an 11. But look at that. This feels like sacred reverence for who you are. This is you loving and recognizing the light within yourself. This is the sacred within you, where you are part of the world and the world is part of you, but also you are part of the universe. But that's what it looks like. I want to take a look and we'll see what that is. And then we'll get into what's going on this week. I do want to remind you that Mercury stations direct on Tuesday. Yay, this has been a tough, for me personally, retrograde season. And of course, you guys just came off of that beautiful, let's look at it in a positive way, extremely life-altering in some aspect of your life because it happened in the house of you, blue moon, super moon, full moon, in conjunction with Uranus on Halloween. So something big shifted, changed in your life. It'll be different for all the Tauruses, because if you are a Taurus rising, it's in the first house of you. If you are a Taurus moon, it's how you feel about wherever that house is in that the moon is in. And if you are a Taurus sun, then that would have been, you know, it's you, right? It depends on where your sun is. So, but if you're a Taurus rising, there was so much power in that. Something big happened in your life and you'll know what it is. So, sacred reverence says, offer the truth that spirit is everywhere. Inspiration coming through you as a result of reverence, joyful living, exploring possibilities with curiosity, spiritual passion, manifesting from the starting point of the realm of spirit, and why not? In tarot, you are represented by the Hierophant. The Hierophant is that connection to spirit. It's that hierarchy of understanding that we are that beam of light that is part of source light, and that we can manifest because we are divine. And that's why Taurus is so good at manifesting. Because whether or not you remember that you know that, your higher self knows that. And so that manifestation energy really comes through. It's pretty exciting. What else did you get? Ooh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Where'd that card go? Oh, it's right here. Look at this. Lots to do with the heart chakra. Awful lot to do with the heart chakra. So the sun is in Scorpio, which if you are a Taurus rising, the sun is in your 7th house of partnership. So you have healing the heart and sacred reverence. Part of healing this heart journey for you is going to be understanding. Oh, it's 2 plus 3, that's 5, that's change. Part of this is going to be understanding, and 5 is also the number for the Hierophant. it is understanding that it is through understanding the thing. Wow, can you guys even hear anything I'm saying? I did not mean to do that. Oh, man. Okay, so sacred reverence, understanding that you are part of the divine is so important to healing of the heart, because then you understand that you are worthy. You are worthy of all that you're manifesting, that you choose what you're manifesting, and that by allowing yourself to love yourself, then you allow others to love you also. Healing, making amends for willingness to release, making amends, the willingness to release the past pain, being responsible and accountable, taking time to get healthy and renewal and rebirth after suffering. This almost feels like the energy of after the Three of Swords, after your heart has been pierced, then there's the Four of Swords, which is that healing energy coming in. And it is a time of healing and renewal for you. And you have the Divine Matrix, number 44. But look at that. It is understanding that you are a piece and a part of the divine. Wow. 44 is an angelic number. You don't break that one down. The realm of spirit, the knowledge that we are all divine beings. Part of the tapestry, weaving our dreams into the fabric of reality, synchronicity, learning to trust the way things unfold. Okay, so you're healing from something that hurt your heart. Many of you, right? And it could be in any realm of your life. It could be family, it could be a relationship, friendship, intimate partnership. It could be a career, something or the other happened. It's something that it feels like it happened to you, and it's causing you to have to do some evaluation, do some healing. But if you remember that what happens to you when one door closes, another one opens, because you are part of the divine, and you're being guided and protected by these changes that are happening. They're happening for you, not to you. When you really accept that, when you really fully integrate that into your life, that's when the positive things start really clicking along, one right after the other. And I find that Tauruses are very resilient, more so than most other signs, where they will get back up and they will find their feet. But man, it's like tipping a cow over, right? Oh gosh, don't ever do that. But it's a thing people like to do. They think it's funny. It's not funny. Because when you tip a cow over, the cow struggles to get back to its feet. But it's not easy to tip it over in the first place. So I feel like you've been tipped over by something. Now it's time to get back on your feet, to heal, to figure out what brings in the pleasure and the joy to you in your life, and to regain your balance, right? After being tipped over, you got to get back up. You got to regain your balance and allow yourself to heal, and understand that part of this is all part of a divine plan that you created. I have a really good friend who's going through a really tough time, and my friend said, I don't understand why God would put me in this situation. And I didn't want to explain in that moment of pain. But the truth is, your higher self has set things in motion. And your choices and decisions along the way have put things in motion. And it's all part of the learning and the growth. And I didn't do this for you, but you came here with a plan, a lesson. And in the middle of this pain comes the best lesson learned, if you're willing to. And so you haven't been abandoned. You haven't been cast aside. You haven't been ignored. You haven't been unloved by the divine source. You have been learning a lesson you chose to learn on this path in this lifetime. And And it was a hard one because I feel like you got tipped over. And you have stand your ground mountain card. So find your balance, get yourself back in the upright position, find your footing, be solid. You don't need to start moving forward in any direction right now. You need to find your feet back on the ground. Find your surface. Allow for the healing to happen. You don't need to be rushing forward and going to the next phase of your life or whatever. Take the time to regain your balance. Focus on yourself. Uranus is like a lightning bolt. When you get hit by lightning, my goodness, it's going to knock you off your feet. You've been knocked off your feet. So the moon is going to move into Cancer at 4:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States on Wednesday evening. This sets up about 2.5 days for an opportunity to really feel into what works for you. Really to tap into that emotions. If you are a Taurus rising, this is happening in your 3rd house of communication. And with Mercury now direct, it is an opportunity maybe to communicate your feelings to people. But I really feel like it's important that you communicate with yourself. So no matter what, how do you feel about things? And then you pick your dream. And then you follow your gut, your intuition, which is very strong in a Taurus. You set your healthy boundaries where you don't let yourself get tipped over. You find your feet again. Of course you got that card. I think Scorpio got this card. Maybe it was Libra. Remember that you are resilient. That what is cut out, cut back in your life provides space for growth. You know, when you cut back a plant, it allows new. So if you have a long stringy plant and you cut it back, now it promotes growth, so it's more bushy, right? It provides more opportunity. If you have to cultivate something and you pull the seeds out and you clear the area of the weeds, then you plant fresh seeds, that's where it has a better chance for successful growth, right? So there's wisdom that comes from all this. Okay. So this full moon illuminated something in your life. It says, in the light of the moon, a full moon can shine light on what you've been resisting. This can be anything from your fears to your soul's beauty. So where are you blocking your happiness? Are you blocking by resisting going down the path you want to go? Are you blocking because you're afraid? What if I get tipped over again? Well, you got back on your feet, so you can. Are you fearful that you've made mistakes in the past and you don't want to make the same mistakes? Well, okay, there's wisdom to be gained, and I think that a lot of times there's an opportunity to see your part in it. Yes, other people play a part. But I know that when I'm going through a healing process, if I'm laying blame at other people's feet, if I'm thinking they did this, they did that, they did this, I'm not doing the real work. The real work comes when I say, okay, why did I do what I did? It isn't just merely saying, oh, I did that. That was my bad. That's only part of it. The really hard work is, why did I do that? And how can I avoid doing that, saying that, feeling that way again? And it's not by closing yourself off. This is the healing process within you, because the people that come into your life just mirror back to you the things that you need to learn to grow. Because that was the soul contract. That is what we wanted. That is what we asked for before we incarnated. So don't let your fears and your doubts about the things that happened in the past hold you back. You have the South Node here. It says, don't let the past hold you back. And Taurus, there is a new moon. So first off, we're having a full moon in the North Node happening November 30th. And then I think December 14th, there's a new moon in the South Node. And so there's this energy with eclipses of letting go and planting new seeds for you in the second house of where your value is. What do you value? Self-worth, self-esteem. Those are more important than the financial aspects. And I hope, I have a feeling if you've been tipped over, you kind of realize that it's not really about the money. It is about how you feel about yourself. How do you feel worthy? Because you're being asked to hold your vision. And this vision is what you want for the future. It is the vision of remembering that you are sacred and you're entitled simply by the fact that you are a part of source light. You are part of the light. You are entitled to love yourself and be loved in return. When you love yourself, the universe loves you. The universe always loves you. Let me put that another way. When you love yourself, you attract in relationships that appreciate and love you also. But when you are down on yourself and you don't recognize the beauty in you, you attract the relationships that show it to you over and over and over again until you're like, wait a minute. I love and accept that part of me, and I don't need anybody else to come in and say, that is something, that's not so great. Because when you love and accept it, you can make the decision to change it or not change it. But it is an act of self-love to accept it in yourself. Accept that you're fearful of something. Accept that you have doubts. Accept that. And then you say, okay, but why am I fearful? Why do I have these doubts? And 9 out of 10 times go back to your childhood before you were 7 years old. A lot of self-esteem issues come from the things that are said to us when we are little sponges. The ones that make us feel like we have to work for love. We have to work to be appreciated. That we don't deserve to be loved simply for being here. That's bull. Pardon the pun. That is crap, though, really, that you have to work. That you have to be good enough to be loved. Come on. When you are a small child, what could you have possibly done that wouldn't make you worthy of love? And yet so many, particularly those born before the 2000s, really were left feeling like, yeah, I'm not good enough to be loved. There's a lot of self-worth issues out there. So this is the part where we say to ourselves, we say to our inner child, I love you. You're great. You are fun. And we take our inner child out and we play. We go do creative fun things that we used to enjoy, and we find the joy and the happiness in it. We do the things that make us smile and bring the joy and the pleasure. We focus on the joy and the happiness from within so that we can then go out into the world and have relationships that have that same vibrational energy in it so that we get to keep enjoying life. And so there's a real need to be grateful, to start counting your blessings, because it helps to raise your vibrational energy. And when that moon moves into Leo on Saturday, it is really 2:18 in the morning. It is really focusing on that need to feel grateful and also to feel safe and protected. Divine source is there. They're never not there, and they are protecting you, and they are leading you, and they are guiding you. And sometimes it's like, are you sure? I am sure. And there are people, of course, who it's really hard to figure it out, right? Sometimes it's hard to see it. So you feel into your heart space. You know, I was listening to National Public Radio one time, and I can't remember. There was some guy, he had been locked up for like 26 years in the South for murder that he did not commit. He had been railroaded in. Somebody finally looked at his case, and the DNA came in, and they're like, oh, wow, he didn't do this. He spent 26 years, okay? And he came out of there with this attitude of, I choose love, and I was never in prison because I knew I hadn't done anything. And so I used it to get my education. I used my time wisely. And he said, you're only a prisoner if you choose to allow yourself to feel like it. Despite the external circumstances, he said, I was always free. I was always a free person inside. And that's how he manifested his freedom. Yes, somebody went through and they did the work and they got him out and everything, but it was his belief in himself that created the energy that allowed all those things to fall into place. You have released your guilt. Step into your power. Step into your very personal power. That's what this Moon in Leo is all about. Stepping into your personal power. Okay? When you do that, when you say, I release myself from the guilt. Did you make mistakes? Oh my goodness, are you human? Of course you did. But guilt is something that other people put on us, and then we internalize it. So it says Clover. Clover is again about counting your blessings and about feeling lucky. Release your guilt. You have done nothing wrong. If you are in a horrible situation and you got yourself out of it, good for you. There should be no guilt in that. If you did things that were not helpful and nice and kind to other people, okay, well, you had a soul contract. Release yourself. We are all writing new chapters in our lives. You don't want to carry the burden forward into your next chapter, so you release the guilt. And why do you do it? You do it for yourself. You allow yourself to be clear and cleansed. Look, these are both very cleansing energies. We have the fire, and then we have the purity of the snow and the winter coming through. And there's this wind blowing through. The winds of change are blowing. And boy, are they blowing for you, because you have the storm card. But what this says is every hurricane comes to an end. Every hurricane comes to an end. Doesn't last. It's so funny, because I think Aquarius got this card, and the wind was blowing like crazy. Actually knocked over a tree outside. It just blew it straight on down. Thank goodness it wasn't onto a car. The storm comes to the end. There was a hurricane. It was called Uranus, conjunct with the full moon in Taurus. Yes, things were happening. But do it for yourself. This is 41. 4 plus 1 is change. Make the change for yourself. Release yourself from guilt, from any kind of guilt. Other people's opinions of you, they're none of your business. And those voices in your head that make you feel guilty for the choices, when you choose yourself, when you choose to love yourself, when you choose to move yourself forward in your life, on your path, there should be no guilt in that. If you're not stepping on other people to lift yourself up, there should be no guilt in it. If you're choosing to walk away from situations that do not work, then go. If you're choosing, and by that I mean like I've done this behavior before, but that doesn't work for me anymore and I'm not doing it anymore. You choose to walk away from that. Leave the guilt behind. Just, okay. So my son, my middle son, was a swimmer, a very good swimmer, actually. He set a school record, really good swimmer, okay? Nobody in middle school would ever believe that he was going to get this far. Because in 6th grade, he did not like doing the dry land exercises. He doesn't like being told what to do. He's a Taurus. And so he would refuse to do them, or he'd do them incorrectly on purpose so badly that they'd start over. They were trying to use peer pressure, and the peer pressure wasn't working for him. So finally, the coach kicked him out. He was kicked out of the pool. I can't even tell you how many times. So this time, coach calls me and says, hey, he really can't come back, because it was exhausting for everybody else to have to keep doing that workout. And then when they got in the pool, they were too tired to have a good swim workout. And so, he's too disruptive. So I called up my son, and I had a very long conversation with him, because I was working, but I was cleaning an empty house. Nobody was there. I had him on the phone for close to 2 hours. I asked him, what do you want out of life? So I'm asking you, what do you want out of life? And I said to him, it wasn't fair to everybody else what you were doing. Do you understand that? And he was like, yeah, actually I do now. And he hadn't been thinking about it. He'd been thinking about, how much he hated it, but he wasn't thinking about it. I said, you're taking the time away from the other students, the other swimmers. The coaches are so focused on you and your bad behavior, they don't have time to help the people that are there because they want to, because they want to be better. I said, you have to be in after-school activities. That's the rule. Okay? When you're in swimming, you can't quit a season. You're stuck there. You don't have to be good at it, which is unfortunate because you have talent. But if you don't want to do anything, that's fine, but you can't impede the progress of other people. Do you understand that? And he was like, yes, I could see that. I said, coach wants you to apologize before they will let you back in the pool. Taurus is like, I like to apologize. And there was this long silence. And then he said, can I let my actions be my apology? And I said, I think so. Let me call the coach. So I called the coach. Coach said, okay, but next time there's no getting back in. That was January 4th. February 4th, we were at middle school state swim meet, and he was swimming. And he made every state meet after that. And he actually set a school record because he decided to make a change. He walked away from the bad behaviors. He did not actually apologize, but he changed his behavior. He did it for himself. He chose to let go of the guilt. He chose to move past the storm and to do what was in his best interest for him. He picked himself. You can do this. You can do this. If a 6th grader can do this, pretty sure everybody watching this is older than 6th grade. You can do this. It is a choice. It is a choice to be authentically yourself. And if there is some behavior that you've done that has not worked for you in the past, then let it go. And allow your new behavior to be your apology. Are you going to have to say sorry and make amends? Possibly. But I don't think you need to beat a dead horse. I think that you can say, I understand I did not get that right. I'm making changes. I hope you can accept that and pay attention to that and appreciate that, because I'm moving forward and I don't want to be so focused on the past. I really want to focus on what's next. And anybody that is worth having in your life should be able to accept that, right? You should be able to do that for yourself. You should be able to do that for other people. Be willing to look at people and say, wow, okay, yeah, no, we're making changes. And not hold people accountable for things they did before they decided to choose a new and better path. Same goes for you, right? All right, let's get you a color card. I'm sorry that was so long. I know Taurus doesn't like that, but you have a lot happening here. Okay, there's something going on. Ooh. Okay. You are struggling. Okay, I want you to remember the storm card. Every hurricane comes to an end. The changes you're making, the choices you're making, you do that for yourself. You release yourself from the guilt because you have plum overcoming challenges. Overcome your challenge. You can do this. Every hurricane comes in. You're freaking right in the middle of it right now. I don't know how you couldn't be. Thunder and lightning. Uranus there, and your Uranus is going to be in Taurus for 2 more years, I think. So a lot of changes, and then, you know, and Pluto is in Capricorn, and so it's supporting this energy. So in 2024, which seems like forever away, a lot of things are going to shift and change, and here's where you start making the changes for yourself, where you allow yourself to be safe and protected. It says you are protected here. You also need to ask for protection. The angels stand at the ready to help you, but you have to ask for their guidance and protection. You have Azure, protect yourself, and you have Brown, establish boundaries. Establish boundaries. You choose where it's safe for you to be. You work within that space. You take all the time you need. You make the changes you want. You pick you, right? You can do this. I have a lot of confidence in Taurus. I have a lot. I have so many Tauruses in my life, and they're without exception. I know that all of you can create and manifest the life that you want. You're just going to have to pick yourself up right now, because I feel like someone tipped you over. All right? You guys take really good care of yourselves. I will see you back here on Monday, and we'll hopefully be moving forward. We'll be talking about planting seeds of intention by then. Right now, take care of you. Okay? We'll talk soon.